What's the pettiest revenge you've gotten on a scammer? So I'm a single dad working night shifts at this security company. One evening around 9 p.m., my phone rings with some unknown number. Usually I'd ignore it, but since I was expecting a call about my son's soccer practice being moved, I picked up. This woman starts crying into the phone, completely hysterical. She's like, Leo, thank God you answered. It's Mom, I'm in jail. Now I'm thinking, what the hell, because my mom hasn't driven a car in like 3 years. She gave up her license after she rear-ended someone at a Walmart parking lot. But this woman keeps going. I was in an accident. They're saying it's my fault. I need $3,000 wired right now or they won't let me out. She's sobbing, talking about how scared she is, how she doesn't want to spend the night in jail. For a split second, I almost believed her because she sounded so desperate. Then I remembered my mom was probably at home watching her crime shows and knitting those ugly Christmas sweaters she makes every year. So I decided to play along. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, are you okay? What happened? Which jail are you at? The whole time I'm writing down everything she's saying. She gives me this whole story about hitting someone at an intersection, how the other driver is fine but pressing charges, how she needs exactly $3,000 wired to some account or she'll be stuck there all night. She even had the account details ready, which was pretty suspicious. I told her I'd rush to the grocery store to wire the money and hung up. First thing I did was call my actual mom. She picks up on the second ring like, hey honey, what's up? And I can hear Jeopardy playing in the background. I explained what just happened and she starts laughing so hard she almost chokes on her tea. Next, I drove straight to the police station. The officer I talked to wasn't surprised at all. Apparently, they get these calls constantly. He took down the number and said they'd trace it, but most of these scammers use burner phones, so it's hard to catch them. But then I had this crazy idea. I asked the officer if he wanted to help me mess with this person. He was totally into it. We used my work phone to call the scammer back about an hour later. I'm pretending to be all panicked, telling them I went to wire the money but accidentally sent $6,000 instead of $3,000. I'm begging them to help me get the extra money back because my boss is gonna fire me if the bank finds out. I made up this whole story about how I'm a single dad and can't afford to lose my job. The scammer got so greedy. Instead of just hanging up, they actually gave me details about how to get a refund through some other account. They thought they were about to get double the money. The officer was taking notes the whole time, and apparently this gave them enough information to trace where the calls were coming from. Turns out the scammer was operating out of this motel in the next city over, using multiple burner phones to run the same scam on different people. The police coordinated with the local department there. The best part? When the scammer went to withdraw money from an ATM at this grocery store, thinking they were getting easy cash from some panicked victim, the cops were already waiting. They'd been watching the account and knew exactly when and where they'd show up. They didn't just catch one person either. Apparently, this was part of a whole operation. The police found boxes of prepaid debit cards, lists of phone numbers, and scripts for different scams. They ended up returning over $20,000 to other victims who'd fallen for similar calls. I never got any money from the scammer, obviously, but seeing them get arrested on the security camera footage the officer showed me was worth way more than $3,000.